Hello everyone, here are the solutions to 30 through 36 on the Chapter 2 study guide, and then the rest of the problem from the Domain and Range worksheet, Part B. Let me know if you have any questions. Either tomorrow or Friday, I will have all of the solutions. I'll have a solutions video to all of these problems posted, but you can still let me know if you have any questions. All right, so today we're still going to work with writing equations of lines, but now the descriptions or the relationships between these lines are going to be parallel or perpendicular. So what do you remember about them? Try to just pause the video and try to write out a couple things that you remember about parallel and perpendicular lines. All right, hopefully you mentioned parallel lines, they never intersect. And they never do this because their slopes are the same. All right, now with perpendicular lines, these lines do intersect, but in a unique way. They intersect to make a 90-degree angle. Or to say a right angle. Now they do this because their slopes are what we call opposite reciprocals of each other. Now I know perpendicular is kind of a long word to write out, so the symbol for perpendicular, if you haven't seen it before, just looks like an upside down capital T. The symbol for parallel just looks like two small parallel lines kind of slanted like this. So for instance, if I gave you a slope, let's say the slope here is 2/5, slope of a perpendicular line, so I'm going to mark it like this, just becomes a negative 5/2. Or if our slope is, let's say, a -3, slope of a line that's perpendicular, what helps is if we put this over a 1, flip it, and then make it the opposite sign, so it's going to become a positive 1/3. So just going over some examples here. All right, so we're going to write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form that first contains the point 1, 4 and is parallel to the graph of y equals 1/3 x minus 5. So again, I'm going to write this out as slope. Now it's your choice. I'm going to keep using point slope form though. You could use y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to use point slope form. And then we're going to write our equation. All right, so what's going to help us find our slope here? We're not given our slope, we're not given 2 points. What's going to help us find our slope is this right here. So this slope, because it's already in slope-intercept form, is 1/3, right? So our slope, if these lines are parallel, our slope's going to also be 1/3. So we just needed to know that information. It wasn't a little calculation, it was just knowing the slope of the line our line is parallel to and using the same one. All right, so that's really the only different side to this than what we were working with yesterday. So now here's my point. So I'm going to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So my y1 is 4, so I have y minus 4. My slope is 1/3, and I'm going to have x minus 1, x minus x1, so x minus 1. So now I'm going to distribute the 1/3. So I'm going to get 1/3 x minus 1/3. Now I'm going to add 4. But when I do this, I want to turn it into common denominator. So first I'm going to write it like this, plus 4 over 1. And I know no matter what we're doing, working with fractions, we're going to encounter this type of a situation anywhere. So 1/3, then this will give me 12/3. 4 over 1 becomes 12 over 3. So now I get y equals 1/3 x. This will give me plus 11/3. So there's my equation. Y equals 1/3 x plus 11/3. How could we check? Very easy. On Desmos, we can graph the line we're given. So you would want to graph this equation. Then you would want to graph our line, and then graph the point 1, 4. So our line that we came up with this equation should pass through the point 1, 4, and it should be parallel to y equals 1/3 x minus 5. So that's in slope-intercept form. Let's also go ahead and write this in standard form just to practice. Y equals 1/3 x plus 11/3. Pause the video and give this a try. All right, a couple ways to start. I'm going to start by subtracting 1/3 x from each side, so I get negative 1/3 x plus y equals 11/3. I want my first number to be positive, so I'm just going to change the sign of everything. So we're going to get a positive 1/3 x minus y equals negative 11/3. Then I need to get rid of the fraction, so I'm going to multiply everything by 3. All right, so what I'm going to get here, 3 times 1/3 is just 1. So I'm going to get x minus 3y, and then over here is just negative 11. So there is standard form. All right, our next example. Our line contains the point negative 4, 6, but it's perpendicular to the graph of the line whose equation is given right here. So again, I need to figure out the slope of our line. Then I'm going to use point slope form to figure out our equation. All right, so we need to figure out the slope of this line and then use it to help us. So what I'm going to do is take 3x minus 2y equals 10. I don't know the slope right now. I'm going to put it in slope-intercept form. I'm going to subtract 3x, so we're going to get negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 10. Divide everything up here by negative 2. So y is going to equal 3/2 x. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 10 divided by negative 2 is minus 5. All right, so this is the slope of this line. Our line is perpendicular to it. So a slope of a perpendicular line is going to be the opposite, so a negative reciprocal, so a negative 2/3. So this is our slope. So now when I go to use point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Here's my point I'm using, so I'm going to have y minus 6 equals our slope, which is negative 2/3, and then x minus a negative 4. So I get y minus 6 equals negative 2/3. This will become an x plus 4. So now I get y minus 6. Negative 2/3, I'm going to distribute this, so negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3 times 4, or 4 over 1, is going to give me a minus 8/3. And then last, I just want to add 6. So I'm going to get y equals negative 2/3 x minus 8/3 plus 6 over 1. So now I need to get common denominators here. So y equals negative 2/3 x minus 8/3. 6 over 1, if I turn this into something over 3, that's going to give me 18/3. And now I can combine those. So y is going to equal negative 2/3 x plus 10/3. 18/3 minus 8/3. So our equation is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 10/3. So again, check this. Go to a Desmos page. Graph this equation we just came up with. Then graph the line 3x minus 2y equals 10. They should look perpendicular. Then also plot the point negative 4, 6. Our line that we came up with should go through the point negative 4, 6, and it should be perpendicular to the line 3x minus 2y equals 10. All right, so there's a new worksheet that I will attach separately, but I'll show you on the next page as well. Go ahead and finish just up to 40, the Chapter 2 study guide, 37 through 40. This now deals with parallel and perpendicular lines. And then a function notation worksheet, just 9 through 16. So I'll show you that. So we're going to start right down here at 9. So just these here, just 9 through 16. You could pause the video and just go off of this. All right, guys, so let me know if you have any questions.